Good morning and welcome to my channel viewers, all of my channel viewers. Now, differently, I have chosen this lecture in English because, as usual, in my Tamil lectures, I never preconceived any ideas. Likely in this lecture, English lecture also, I never preconceived any word, any single word for this lecture, or I have not done any table work or preparing points for these lectures. Just I decided to deliver this speech in English. Just a moment. And then, as usual, all my points, all my words comes from heaven. So this lecture is not a preconceived one. Why I am giving this lecture in English? My viewers may ask. Because my YouTube channel lectures, all my videos are now generating out of Tamil Nadu and also out of India also. So, in order to convince and for convenience of foreign viewers, foreign residents, Tamil residents living in abroad, the Tamilians, and living in out of state of Tamil Nadu, for their sake, I am now giving this lecture in English. My other viewers need not be afraid that hereafter in future all my lectures, all my videos only in English. Such a fear is needless one. This is the first effort I have taken. Though I have taught many a time in course in English for my arguments, but now this is the first time I am delivering this lecture in English. Hereafter I will continue all my videos in Tamil only. So my other viewers need not afraid of that hereafter all his videos only in English. So we cannot get into his videos. Such a kind of thinking is needless. Okay, that's all right. Now let us go into the video. I have taken a topic. Why not? Not so. I have not taken the topic. The topic was given from the heaven. The topic is given to me by Almighty is journey of soul to the whole. Whole means not H-O-L-E. W-H-O-L-E, whole. The completeness, not a whole. Please understand. And also, the topic given to me, in strict words, journey of soul to the whole, not into the whole. If I say into the whole, it means the soul go into the journey into a whole, into something, in such a country, into the country, and it will come out of the whole as a soul. But it is not like that. The soul of a journey ends in the wholeness, ends in the oneness. The destination is the whole. So, after reaching the destination, the soul will not travel furthermore, or it will not travel out of the whole. It would merge into the whole. That is why God has given the strict words for the topic. Journey of soul to the whole. Now, we will get into the topic. My viewers in Tamil might have seen all my videos. and they could understand this English version also as the same one I have reflected in English, which was already lectured in Tamil also. Anyhow, let us go into the topic. Soul. Before we get into the topic, the journey of the soul, we must understand what is soul. Soul. Any English knowing person or an Englishman would know what is soul. Soul inside the physical body. When we call myself as a soul, I refer my physical body, the biological body with 2 hands and 2 legs and my head, with a trunk and head. So this is a physical form of a soul, we say. But when we refer a soul, the physical body, which is distinct from the other animals, whether it is a vertebra or non-vertebra. If you refer a dog, it has 4 legs and a folded ear pinna or a strict ear pinna with its twisted tail or its hanging tail, with its fearing and tearing teeth, etc. When we call a man, the form of a man, the image of a man would come into our heart with an erected body horizontally on its 2 legs, standing on its 2 legs. This is a distinct and differentiating feature from the other animals. That is why the other animals are afraid of the human beings. An elephant, which is very, very much mightier than a man, is afraid of a human being. A tiger, a ferocious tiger, is also afraid of a human being because he is horizontally standing on his own 2 legs. That is a distinct appearance, a different appearance, a typical appearance to the other animals. That is why they are afraid of the human beings. That is not the topic now. Let us come to the topic. When we refer to the soul, it is not to the body. All of you know, might have known. We are referring the soul, not the body. We are referring the soul, something inside the body. When we try to locate the place of soul, where it resides, we say here, a customary usage. Whether the soul is here or here, it is a different question, and that question is not important to this topic. When we refer to soul, after our death, we call the physical body a corpus, a dead body, a corpus. We do not call it as by its name. Ramesh is lying here. We do not say like that. Ramesh has gone to somewhere else. His body is lying here. It is only a corpus. We used to say like that. When the corpus goes to the cremation ground, we call, here Ramesh body is coming, not Ramesh. So, the soul is residing in our body and it goes out of the body during the time of death. This is a factor all of us have known. In 1970s, I used to go to the reading rooms, libraries. And one time, when I came across a illustrated weekly, an essay written by Dr. Raymond Modi. He was a scientist, a doctor, MBBS doctor, and also a researcher dealing with the paranormal science and particularly interested in the life after death. He wrote an article in the Illustrated Weekly under the topic life after death. Then it became, I think it has come in the form of a book, Life After Life, now as a book. But when it was published in the Illustrated Weekly, it was under the topic life after death. In his article, he used to visit many patients who declared dead by the doctors, clinically dead, but after some time, astonishingly came into life. Such a person he selected and interviewed with him and consulted with him. Many a person in many countries. The cumulative effect of his interviews, some common features are notable. The first one is when a person during the time of death, somebody felt as they were going into a dark hole. Somebody would say, as they felt they were going in a darkness, in a tunnel, dark tunnel. After the end of the journey, all these persons commonly told they saw a bright light, not a dazzling light, not an irritating light, which could not see like a sun's light. They felt this brightness as very convenient and convincing. And also they felt that light was not a lifeless person. If you see the light of a electric light, a bulb, and if you see the sun, and if you see the moon, you feel it. It is a object, light emanating object, light emanating object. We cannot say it is a living thing. We do not feel when we see the sun, it is a person. It is an object, inorganic, scientifically saying. But all these persons who declared as dead, clinically dead, and came into life, and between this death and life, all they felt the light, the brightness as a living being. The same thing, the same factor was reflected in our literatures, pious literatures. God is in the form of Jyoti, light. So, after the death, from our body, something goes out. We call it as a soul. Okay, no doubting it. Then the soul goes where? That is the question. Somebody says to heaven, somebody says to Vaikuntha, somebody says to Kailasa, Hindu says. The Christians would say it goes the regime of God, the country of God, Paraloha. But that is not the destination of the journey. The real journey of the soul is not ended in entering into another world from this physical world, from this earthly life. So the destination of soul, the journey of soul, The goal of soul is not to reach in another world or Vaikuntha or heaven. That much level it would not stop. The journey continues from there also. To where? To the wholeness. That is the ultimate fact, the ultimate destination, the ultimate end. What is the whole? Now we have just understand what is soul. Though we have not seen the soul, we feel the soul. As a human being, I am. What is soul? I am soul. What is the form of soul? I do not know. But I am a soul. This expression is also not correct. I am a soul means I am being as a soul. So two things comes into play. I am and a soul. So I see the soul. So the soul was seen by me. The soul is the object of my eyes. So the object cannot be a subject. The subject I see the soul. So see is a different thing. So this expression is also not correct. For convenient understanding, as a customer usage, I am using this word soul. The soul goes into the whole to be never returned. What is whole? The whole is God. We can simply say. But that is not the proper answer. That is not the rational answer. God is whole, not whole, H-O-L-E. That means He is the only person comprising all this world, any other worlds, numerous worlds, the prapancha, the universe. He is comprising the universe. He is the universe. His structure, his form, his body is universe. Nothing more than that. If anybody asks you, have you seen the God? You can directly say, yes. I have not only seen the God, I am seeing the God now itself in you, in this mountain, in this tree, in this river, in this ocean, in this sea, in the sky. We are all seeing the God only. We think the rock and brooks are lifeless without any conscience of being itself. We think like that, but it is not true. All inorganic articles, inorganic things in the world. Inorganic means lifeless. Just like, for example, a rock, a stone, a building, etc. All these have its own soul. Not its own soul, the only soul which is in the form of whole. So, the non-speaking, the non-living articles, we refer jada purul, jatam in Sanskrit. All these non-living things are better than the living things. They are the real form of the God. They are the real form of the whole. We are the miniatures of the God, miniatures of the great soul. So, the great soul is the inner being of all these jada vastu, jada inorganic articles, lifeless things. The earth, the moon, the sun, etc., etc. The whole universe. You can directly, of course, see. All this is. That is why in our Hindu culture, We worship the God in any form, in any Jada form, in a stone, in a tree, in a river. We call it the river as a Kaveri or a Ganga Devi. We call a stone as a Perumal, as a Shiva. We call a tree Sthala Vriksha, is also a god. So, to our Hindus, all these Jada Vastus, non-living objects, are all God's real form. We are only different. The living creatures are only different. But we think we are greater and better than the non-living objects. But in fact, the non-living objects are the superior to us. Though they would not speak to us, though they would not feel as they are being, as they are in existence, it seems to us, but it knows, I am God. A stone knows I am God because it is the body of the wholeness, the body of the God. That is why we worship our car, our vehicle, our books, all are Saraswati, Goddess Saraswati. That is why we are celebrating the Saraswati Puja and Ayudha Puja. So, the only religion in the world which reveals, which exposes, which manifests the real thing, the real truth of the wholeness was expressed and explained by only the Hindu Vedic teachers called rishis. Nowadays, a new trend is it is not new trend, it is an old trend. From my childhood also, from my school days also, this debate and discussion is going on. Tamil is the very oldest language and a primitive language spoken by the first man of the earth. Maybe I don't like to get into this topic. Maybe if it is true, I am very glad. If it is not true, I am not so sorry. I don't feel sorry because maybe it may be truth. But saying Tamil is the only Semmoli or Tamil is the only language better than all languages is not correct. It is also one of the best language in the world spoken by people. By degrading one language, we cannot upgrade in another language, our own language. Sanskrit says it is a dead language. No, it's not correct. The mother tongue of the Tamilians is Tamil. So we are called by this, we are Tamilians. The mother tongue of the Karnataka is Kannada. The mother tongue of the Kerala is Malayalam. So the people from the time immemorial, from the state, from the soil, are speaking their own languages. But the Sanskrit language, who has been speaking this language from time immemorial? Nowadays they say Brahmins. It is the language of the Brahmin. It is the language of the mother tongue of the Brahmins. It is not correct. If it is the mother tongue of the Brahmins, they won't drop this language from their usage, from their tongue. If you go into the interior forest of the Mudumalai or the Western Ghats, you can see the tribal peoples. They are speaking their own tribal language. They won't forget it, they won't drop from the tongue. They are keeping their language in their tongue. Even the tribal people. In the whole world, Nobody has dropped the speaking of their own mother tongue. If it is true, why if it is true? It is true. How the Brahmins could have dropped their language from their tongue? If it is a mother language, nobody will drop. Nobody will accept such a thing. Nobody will do such a thing. Cannot, because they cannot. It's a mother tongue. If it is a mother tongue, if it were a mother tongue. But it is not their mother tongue. They were talking some other language. If it is their mother tongue, as a simile, they could have formed a separate written forms for their own language. There is no written form for the Sanskrit. But I say it is a technical language of the Hindu sheikhs, Hindu rishis. Just like that, if a doctor and a doctor with a doctor is talking on some subject, we can't understand. If a lawyer talking with another lawyer or with the judge, the client cannot understand, because we are using the technical terms, many more technical terms that could not be understood by others. Just like that, the Hindu sheikhs used to talk with the God and also to receive the message from the God. They have invented a new language, or they have inherited the new language from the God. That is called Sanskrit. Anyhow, don't think I am not deviating from the subject. In my lectures, it is inevitable, a deviation from the topic. Yes, let us come to the topic. Come to the end. The wholeness, I said. The wholeness, if you say, it has no formless. Can anybody say the end of the border of the limit of the boundary of the universe? There ends the universe. I know. Nobody can say. The universe is boundless, enormous, without any limit. A thing, an object which is formless and which has no limitations, which has no boundaries, which has no particular specific form, cannot be told it has its own form. Is it not correct? So, a formless, boundless, boundaryless thing could be only without any form. Arubam, not rubam. So, a formless one could be only a wholeness consisting of the entire universe and also extending beyond the universe without any limitations. But with a consciousness, great consciousness, the universe, the body of the God, the body of the wholeness, can feel its own existence as we feel I am in here sitting. When I feel I am in existence, when I am in existing in this body and talking this lecture, delivering the lectures, just like that, the whole universe without limit, which is the form of the wholeness, without formless, would certainly feel the existence of its own as a living being with its own knowledge. So, the wholeness is in existence, Sat. The wholeness has its own knowledge and feeling consciousness, feeling its own existence, called consciousness, Sit. How this wholeness is, whether it is very sad, whether it is very dejected, whether it is in excited mood, no. It has no needs, it has no desires, it has no appetite, it has no thirsty, it has no lust. Such a thing, how it would be? Which has no requirements, no desires. A person who has no desires, no needless, no need, who is not a needy person, who is needless of anything, who have no appetite. Such a person, how would be? He could not be very anxious or excited or very glad or very happy because he is self-content, satisfied. Such a person could not be very sad because nothing to nothing to last for him. He has nothing to lose because he is the all thing. When he becomes an all thing, when he is a all thing, where is something to lose? Something? Nothing. The person who has nothing to lose, nothing to acquire, can be very calm. That calmness, deep calmness, is a bliss, we call in English, the bliss, the full self-content, satisfied state. That is a bliss. This bliss, this is the nature of this existence. Ananta, Sat Chit Ananta. Understand? So, all our little souls, the journey of our little souls is to reach the wholeness. Our destination of our journey is to end in wholeness, not in another world. If you go to another world, we will also go into another upper world and also to the upper world, and then we will ultimately reach this wholeness. Till that time, our journey will continue. And also I will continue my next lecture in Tamil. Thank you all my viewers. If at all any errors, faults, or any language error, grammatical error, or factual errors, if you find, that is not the error of mine, or that is not the fault of mine, because this whole lecture comes from heaven, so comes from the person above the wholeness. So if at all you find anything faulty, I am not responsible. He is responsible. Thank you all of my viewers. Thank you.